what are your thoughts on how the offensive line played as a whole?
You know, first week I thought we played really well. Last week I don't think we played to our standard. You know, we got some things we need to fix, some penalties we need to prevent from happening, some pre-snap penalties that we need to get better at. But you know, just coming back in today, looking at what we messed up and going back to work.
Cedric talked a little bit about how everybody's handled the fact that you guys have been rotating.
Mm-hmm.
What's it been like for you? I know that you've moved over some as games have gone on. What's the challenge been like from that aspect?
You know, it's different being in a game, but you know, playing in practice, practice we do it. So just getting used to just being on the left side, being at the right side, just going back and forth, doing it during practice helps me, when it's game time.
Back at number one, does that put a big target on your back?
We really don't pay attention to the rating. We worry about day by day and just getting better and just worried about this upcoming game.
What have you heard about the environment in South Carolina?
I played at South Carolina my sophomore year, but it was during COVID, so we really didn't get to experience, the sandstorm and all that. Just through recruiting, I remember like how the game used to be, so I'm pretty excited.
What stands out to you about South Carolina's defensive line?
They're pretty big, they're athletic. They play a 4-down, and they have some good defensive line on the outside, not outside, but the defensive end, the defensive tackle. It's pretty good. They have some good linebackers. So, just getting ready for this game is going to be good.
From y'all's perspective, what are the main areas of concern or things y'all are really working at in terms of the run game right now?
Just getting better with our double teams. Just meshing well together. Not staying on blocks too long, knowing when to come off, knowing when to stay on a little bit longer and stuff like that.
How much of that improvement that you think comes with more chemistry and playing with all these different guys and everything? You think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take a few games to really hit your stride, or no?
No, I think it's just throughout practice, just getting those reps in during practice and just knowing who you're playing next to and knowing, what's their strengths, what they need help with, when I can do this, when I can do that, just stuff like that.
Does some of that come from like when you're kind of switching to passing more than maybe you have in the past? Like teams passing more, so the run blocking becomes a little bit more of an adjustment. It's different from being when you're a road grading.
Yeah, we practice run game every day, in our NDs throughout different, ND periods throughout practice. So, even though we're throwing more, we always stick, get our run game stuff in every day.
I'm just wondering if during the course of the game, it's like when you are passing more, it's like, okay, the run block, that's where things can kind of get.
We're, as offensive line, we're always focused on running the ball. We want to run the ball. We want to be physical, come off the ball. But in certain situations, you have to be ready to pass. Once you get third and long, that situation.
Looking at the environment, and someone asked earlier, how important is this week for the offensive line? Just understanding that it's going to be loud when you guys are in there.
We'll work on it, in the indoor. We'll crank up some of the crowd noises so we'll get used to it. Just working through that through practice and getting ready for it.
What's some of the loudest environments outside of Athens road games that you've played through this last week?
Auburn and definitely Tennessee. It was pretty fun.
I feel like Coach has all these phrases, right? Keep chopping, attack the day. Won't be hunted, lead or not. Is there one that sticks out to you? Are those a big deal, or do you feel like they can really bring the team together?
Oh yeah, I know. Like the biggest one we have is like nobody cares. South Carolina, they don't care if we won the national championship last year. They're just worried about this game Saturday, and so just putting that behind us, even though it was a big thing, just putting that behind us and worrying about what's in front of us.
How does he introduce something like that? Is it like a big team meeting where he just kind of gets that out there? How does that come about?
Sometimes it's a team meeting, but sometimes, with the nobody cares, that was on one of our workout shirts. We just showed up and it was on it. Coach Sinclair was like, nobody cares. We got to keep working, keep chopping, keep pushing forward.
You came down to Georgia and South Carolina, right? You came down to Georgia and South Carolina and recruited?
Yeah, Georgia, South Carolina.
What was the kind of, how did you see the two? I know it's weird because Coach Muschamp's here now, but like how did that come down to you? How did you see the two?
I love Coach Muschamp, and I love Coach Smart. And at the time, I just wanted to play for Georgia. Even though BMAC was there, the family legacy with them playing here, I just wanted to follow and play at Georgia.
Was it just Georgia's the home state? Georgia's the bigger program?
Just Georgia's the home state. I grew up a Georgia fan, so having the chance to play for my, childhood school, couldn't pass that up.
2020, that first game, you don't end up starting against Arkansas, but you end up coming in off the bench, and then you haven't been starting lineup since. Thinking back to that game, I realize it was a while ago. What do you remember about that, about not starting and being thrust in there and being like, all right, I'm with the ones right now, and I got to earn this and make sure that I don't give it up?
You know, just the reps that Coach Smart, you know, they prepared us for. You know, even though I wasn't starting, I knew that I may have a chance to play, so I had to prepare myself mentally to be able to go in and, you know, not have a step back and just keep pushing forward.
Was that difficult for you to get sort of that mental headspace, given, you know, you practiced, you thought pretty well and knew you were going to have a chance, but then ultimately not get it, and then still have it?
I mean, no, it wasn't tough, but, you know, I was ready to go.
Notice you've been playing a little bit on both the right and left side. You know, is there a huge difference between those two, other than the physical side of the line that you're on, like technique-wise and stuff?
No, it's really just the same technique, you know, just different. You know, instead of having this foot back, I got the other foot back, and, you know, just not too big of a difference.
And then as far as the rotation of the offensive line goes, you know, Coach Martin said that it all comes down to practice and stuff. How does that create competition in practice between you guys? And obviously y'all are still teammates and you want to go out there and compete together. You know, what kind of energy does that bring to the offensive line?
You know, it always brings energy. You know, you want to go out there and practice and get better. And you know that somebody's behind you wants to play too, so they're giving you their best. So you got to come out there with your best, and it just brings a healthy, you know, competition throughout the offensive line.
Warren, I was over there, so you may be repeating yourself a little bit now, but the run game stuff, 4 yards a carry against Samford, that's good, but I know
It wasn't on standard,
Yeah. So just what has to happen, and what's going on there?
You know, we have to go in today, look at the film, see what they were doing. You know, they did a lot more moving than we expect them to do, and so we have to go in there and figure out, you know, the mistakes we made and how to perfect them this week going into this game.
Do you think, obviously you guys are throwing the ball around a lot this year, is it maybe lack of emphasis, or is it, or do you think that's still in there for RDU and being able to dominate the run game when you have to?
Oh yeah, it's definitely still in there. You know, we have a lot of talent on this offense. You know, so just spreading the ball out, everybody getting some. You know, it's hard when you have so much talent on one team. You know, with the wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. So we try to, you know, get it to the playmakers and let them make plays.
Do y'all have more playmakers this year than any other time since you've been here on the team?
You know, bringing back with the same offense that we had last year, you know, most players coming back, you know, the year just matured. So I think, yeah, we have some more playmakers that we trust to have the ball in their hands.
I understand y'all call Tate Chuck, is that right?
Chuck, I call him Tater.
Oh, really? Is there a nickname that everybody, you know, y'all have a different one for everybody?
Yeah, it depends on who it is.
What's your name?
They've been calling me OG lately. Yeah.
Is that an age thing, or is that an age thing? Or?
Just because I've been here, you know, me and Warren been here for the longest, so they call me OG.
As the OG and seasoned veteran, what did you see from Amarius Mims now that you've seen the film? What are some of the little things that you told him that you want for him to work on also?
You know, just being more physical in the run game. You know, he's big, so with him being in the run game, he has to get low. So just him getting more low coming off the ball, getting more physical.
And obviously, Chuck, he was rooting for you guys on the sidelines all last year. What is it like to just have him back right next to you on that run?
It's good, you know. It sucks for him that he had to sit out a whole year, especially after playing like 2 snaps, I think. And just him just sitting there, just wanting to play, and he couldn't. You know, now that he's back, I'm glad for him. All right, thank you.
Thank you.